SAP Business Workflow. In the chapter 2, we will understand the business workflow architecture. Let's see how we are going to define a workflow project. So whenever you wanted to implement any workflow in your organization, first understand the business process. Business process is going to play a key role in any of the workflow implementation. First understand and identify the business process. Once you identify that, let's find out whether you have any standard workflow to support that business process, or you need to customize the process or customize the workflow. If you have a standard workflow for that business process, let's use the same thing which SAP has provided as a standard workflow. If you don't have, what needs to be done? You need to create a workflow and then implement the workflow and test the workflow. Testing will play a major role in the workflow implementation. When it comes to workflow architecture, you have three important blocks. One is organization, and the one is process, and the last one is business object. We will try to understand about each block in the coming session, but let's try to have a brief introduction of what all are these blocks and how it is going to play a major role in the workflow. When you say organization, role, task, position, or a job or organizational unit, all these can be combined under organization. This defines who is executing a processing task or who is the responsible for a particular activity. So if you look back at our previous example, the manager who is the approver, or HR manager who is the approver. So those people will be part of organizational structure because they are the people who are executing a workflow. And the next one is a process. The workflow definition and step will be grouped under process. In this step, it defines the process, which process has to happen in the next step. So when you apply a leave, it sends out an email to your immediate manager saying, okay, someone has applied for a leave. If you are okay, just approve it. That process will be part of the workflow definition or a step. And the last, the workflow will detect a leave from your leave balance. That's also called a process. That's also you can group under process section. The last one is a business object. Attributes, events, methods, objects, all these can be grouped under business objects. So what exactly a business object does? All services are provided in the form of executable methods. So when you say you are defining a process, but how to execute that process? Yes, that is possible with reference to business object. That's where the business object plays a major role in the workflow architecture. What are each task of different process or different blocks in the workflow management system? Let's take the first one is process definition. In the process, what happens in what order? The workflow builder and task definition are responsible for these activities. And the next one is organizational modeling. Who does what? That's where organizational model and role definition comes in the picture. The last one is the application encapsulation. In this, which objects are required for your process definition or your workflow development? Business object builder, business object repository will play a key role in this. Let's look at this workflow definition architecture. In this organization, this screen, we are trying to show which one can be used, which method. If you take the process section where you have a workflow definition or step, the workflow definition can be a combination of steps. Whenever you have a different activities, if you wanted to group them together, then it becomes a workflow definition. Workflow definition can use a task directly on attributes of business objects and events. A step can use attributes, events, methods, and tasks. That's how the workflow definition or workflow architecture is defined. When we go into the next chapter, we will try to understand how each step or each process is going to dependent on other process, how it can use the other process to execute the workflow or continue the business process. Thank you.